I have a question.
Yes.
Walmart, dirt. What do they have in common? Stay tuned. Okay, before we get started, let me show you the amendments I'm using, okay? This is what I used last year, all for the except of one thing. You're in my shot,
Yay.
garden tone. I figure that's going to work really good for what we're doing. And of course, we have earthworm castings. So this is exactly what I did last year, all for the except of that. But this is exactly what I did last year, all for the except of this. What? I normally use peat moss, but this year I'm using this right here, this 100% coconut coir. It seems to be a better deal because this was about $5.25 from Walmart for 2.25 cubic feet, where this costs much more in over the $10 price range for 3 cubic feet. So I have to expand this. Move your boots. Goodness. So let's go ahead and get this open. Now, I've never used this stuff before, so this is kind of an experiment for me to see how well it goes. It should all go well. I love that chicken. So now let's go ahead and get this down in here, and we're going to wet it up. So we have a bunch of mumbo jumbo on how it works. I'm a guy. Let's wet this thing up. Those boots, man. We make a great team. All right, this is looks good. It's about done. And while that's happening, I just dumped out some vermiculite into this container here. That's another part of my growing medium that I'm going to use, okay? You still with me? Pay attention. All right, so I have myself what you call a bucket and a Whamlart bag. So let's do this. I did it all by myself. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Stop. Okay, so I pretty much just used a bucket so it can hold open the bag for me. That I did all by myself.
Liar.
Stop. Combining this mixture, I use topsoil. That's right, the cheapest stuff I could find. Don't let it fool you. I will say that this isn't the greatest stuff, but combined what we're going to use here and do in this garden, it works fine. Like I said, I did my container grow bags and buckets and all that great stuff last year, and everything turned out amazing. So this is about 99 cents a bag. Love that chicken, and it works fine. Now that you know what everything is, and we have it all set up, I say let's go ahead and get the mix in this. I kind of put the crap at the bottom, so let's go ahead and start with getting this into here. And you do want to kind of break it up as you go. We really don't want lumps in here. And after we get a couple of inches of topsoil down here at the bottom, we do want to make it nutrient rich. So let's go ahead and start adding some amendments. Let's add some blood meal. I tend to just eyeball it. Don't overdo it, you know. You can always add more. You can't take away. A little more. Bone meal. About the same amount. Plant fertilizer. Now, a 5.55 is best, but you can use a 5.44. That's perfectly fine. I will say that last year, in some of the grow bags, I used a 10-10-10 just lightly, and it still worked out fine. You just don't want to get this stuff right on the roots or really close to the plants when we top dressing. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let's get a nice amount of that right here at the bottom. Now what we're doing is we're setting up the base. So when we plant our seeds or put in our seedlings, by the time the roots reach down to the bottom, there's still something down here for it to feast on. We want to make sure that this plant is eating for at least 2.5 to 3 months throughout the growing season. Garden Tone. I just started using this. I didn't use it last year, but I've heard so many great things about it that I decided why not. Supposedly it's very, very good for the soil and for the plants. In other words, I haven't done too much research. Garden Lime. About the same amount. See, what Garden Lime does, it raises the soil pH. It adds calcium to the plants to prevent, blossom end rot, and keeps the leaves nice and green. Sometimes they'll yellow. Well, more than likely that's because your plants don't have enough calcium. This helps. And of course, worm castings. It's just an all-around great beneficial food. Trust me, do some research on this stuff. It is magnificent. Whether it's a tree, established plant, indoor plants, or what have you, this just kicks it into gear. And then we mix that all down. That's right, a nice healthy base for the bottom of our buckets, pots, and what have you. The main thing we're trying to do here is recreate what's happening out there naturally in nature. And it's very hard to do in a bucket when you're using topsoil and these sterile ingredients here. We're trying to mimic all of this lovely God-made establishment here. And as humans, this is the best we can do. After that, we want to go ahead and start adding this cocoa coir and also this vermiculite. If you have perlite, that's fine. Last year, I believe we used mostly perlite, but vermiculite is fine. And we want to just mix as we go up. And I tend to make the ground softer and softer as we go up. I'm gonna get about right here, and I'm going to add more topsoil. Then I'm going to repeat the process. Okay, so I'm going to do topsoil, peat moss, perlite, all mixed up. Then I'm going to dress one more time. So in essence, to keep it equal, if you want to do this, add cocoa coir, a handful of topsoil, and a handful of vermiculite. And just keep doing that if that's what you want to do. That works just fine, and you make sure you get equal amounts of all growing medium. But you want to make sure also that you mix as you go. And the reason why we want the top layer softer than the bottom layer is so the roots can travel down, because remember, they're young, they're fragile, and if they're seeds, they may have a little trouble or some problems breaking the surface. So as we go up, we get softer and softer and use less and less topsoil. That's what I do. Now, we are about yay high. Let's repeat the added amendments again. Sans this though. I'll tell you why. All right, we want to get about right here. And now comes the beautiful part. Top dressing. We're going to repeat everything we did. Sans this. I will tell you why. Also, I will say this. If you want to wear a mask while you mix these ingredients, that's perfectly fine. Take an old t-shirt, wrap it around your face or something like that. You know, because we all dealing with blood meal here and bone meal and all kinds of other things that you just may not want deep in your lungs, so just keep that in mind. And again, for me, the fun part, because I love to get dirty, and you've seen my nails. Mixing and scratching, mixing and scratching. There's something therapeutic about this. Just knowing what you're doing and knowing what's to become. And you had a hand in it, you know? You're using your hands to create food, life, nutrients that's going to feed your family. In my case, my lovely lady and my other little lovely lady. And now, we use this. We're going to dig a hole here on the edge, right there, and right there, about yay deep, yay deep. You can also dig a trench all the way around if you want to. It's up to you. But if you do this, I want you to know, don't plant anything here or here. Plant here and here. We get out the fertilizer, drop a pocket of it right there. Another handful, drop a pocket of it right there. Cover it up. What this is going to do is when it rains or when you water, it's going to basically get washed all the way down this bag, and it's going to saturate and create a lovely, lovely environment for your roots to live. The next thing we're going to do is select some seedlings. Garden bean.
Coming up.
Yep, showing her face. I already have sunflowers and things in that bag. But I found here what is a questionable thing. But I believe this is a bean. And we have here some sugar snap peas. So I'm going to go ahead and get those down. What is your problem? We also have some lovely seedlings here. But I've selected mine. So, first of all, don't look at my toes. These are the seedlings. As you see, this year, we started our seedlings in Dixie cups. They're paper, not the wax ones, and they break down. So let me show you some things. I have slits in the bottom so they can get moisture. But like I said, we're going to put down this bean here. So let's go ahead and pull this off. And you can already see that some roots are trying to come through, which is a good thing. So what I did is tore the bottom off completely, and then I'll rip the sides up. And as it's in this dirt, since it's paper and it's recyclable, it's going to break down completely. But it's also going to create a barrier from the other dirts. I have other amendments in here that may be a little too strong to hit this plant just yet. But by the time the roots break out from this cup here and start to explore this bag, it will take in exactly what it needs. So let's go ahead and get a hole for it. And let's get this baby right in. And backfill the hole. Let's press it down to make sure those roots are making contact with the new soil. And let's do the same with the other. Look at all those roots. And that's it. Germs and worms. Now let's get it over to the kiddie pool. Look at it, look at it. Turned out so well, she's trying to copy me. All right, so, and that's it. The plan is to get a couple more of these grow bags going, to put something in that one, and also in that one, and have ourselves a little, thing. No, seriously, but I think we did a good job. If you did, give it a try. And also, I want to say something. Currently, I'm a part of a couple of gardening Facebook groups, and I tend to see a lot of videos where people are asking how do they mix soil for container gardening. Now, while you don't have to follow this to a T, but I would suggest take this video and share it with someone who may need a little help or education on how to mix for a bag or a container. That way we can continue to spread love. Because isn't that what it's all about? Seriously, spreading love. There's a lot of things out there in the world right now, and that gets spread, so why not take a shot at it? And as always, I just want to say, peace. And don't forget, please subscribe or just hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. And as always, peace from the Garden of Feodora.